sharing systems that exist between the judiciary, the executive, and the legislators. But in this instance, one would also wonder, do you think there can ever be a situation of a counter voice from any of the members or even the leadership of the National Assembly considering the rigorous election pre-process that has been processed already before them? Now, they got to choose who've been chosen for them, forgive my language. The senators will get to choose who's been chosen for them officially when they start the 10th Assembly. A similar experience with the House of Representatives, with about 182 minority party members who could turn out to be the majority in determining how things would go in the House of Reps. So the question then begs, should it have been this open in terms of all that have been done? And some would say it's always good to have the legislators close by, with you. It makes the government go smoothly and the likes of that. But some also wonder that when you have them too close to you, that they can't even find their voice in debates of governance and how things should go. It provides a situation where it's termed politically rubber stamped. Now, if a rubber stamp situation is what we're dealing with over and over again, you wonder, at the end of the day, to what end? To have people closer to you or further from you, to have the legislators close to the executives or further from the executives, does it make sense, or does it provide means to negotiate, debate, prefer solutions without much more gymnastics? Some also wonder, there needs to be a balance. When you do have the legislators too far from the executives, or supposedly far from the executives, or outrightly in opposition to the executives, well, there are all kinds of things that could happen. Or some would wonder, if you have an hybrid situation, just close it off, but not too far apart. Then you could have an example from the 8th Assembly, where you had the Senate President in the person of Bukola Saraki and the Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu, as well. Two different political parties, yet leading. And they provided some robust debates, okay? One would almost even say they pushed and pushed and pushed the executive arm of government to be proactive and to be responsive and to be maybe even more responsible in situations maybe they could have maybe not been so responsive to, but they really pushed the executive arm of government. What were some of the things they brought forward and pushed around? Oh, we want Not Too Young to Run. There was all that played out. There were quite a number of engaging situations that they play out under the 8th Assembly. Was there a moment in the 9th Assembly where there was such robust? I think much of it was about the accusations and counter-accusations of ideas around budget padding or no budget padding, along the lines of, this is what the president wants, and this is what we think we should deliver to him. The debates were carefully managed. I don't want to use the word state managed, but carefully managed along the lines of that. So here's the situation to deal with over and over again, and you would wonder why. Do you want an executive arm of government that is ham-in-ham with the legislators, their best of buddies? So it almost looks like daddy and mommy situation. They decide what happens before it happens and agree on the terms of which it happens. Or do you want an executive and a legislative arm that is so much in opposition that even to make decisions around governance becomes close to impossible? That was experienced, I think, a few times under the U.S. President Obama. He had that moment going on a few times as well, when he was leading the country, where things were almost going to get into a situation where nothing could go forward except a truce be attained. That was in the U.S., and things were really heated up. Another type of example or case study to follow through will be the example as one would find during Donald Trump's era in the United States, where things were just different. He was a Republican with an independent mind. When I mean independent mind, I do not mean a political party as an independent, but he just has a mind that is independent and chooses what best fits and waits for every other person in the legislature to make an attempt to align to what works for him. That's that. But we also have examples. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo also had his own moments in line with the likes of the National Assembly. They like me not. I want, I don't want. And at some point in time, he ushered in an era where the leadership of the National Assembly was really about who would serve to cooperate in the interest of the government of the land at the time and in the interest of governance of the people. What should be done? Well, the President Jonathan also tried this move. And how well did he go for him in light of that? Did he have a very cooperative National Assembly to work with? Or he had to walk his lines by himself, thinking of what best works at the end of the day? Now, three scenarios we're dealing with. I've done the guys who are pals. I've done the guys who are opposing each other. What's the last one? Oh, the hybrid one, where sometimes it's all about interest. We like each other, and then we don't like each other. The moment where it looks like when it comes to money and there's issues to cater for, the National Assembly is nowhere reflected in maybe a document where they should be catered for. There's some sense of opposition building. And in some other instances, it looks like when they're well catered for, it's going to be speedy in terms of approval. So what scenario plays out in a very fluid democracy like we have, where ideally nothing is ideal, where ideas that were somehow awkward before are no longer awkward, but they are norms. And what has now become norm, it's now being questioned as being strange. Strange in some sense, strange in processes, strange in getting things done, strange times are here. But at the end of it all, one relies on the truth or the idea that nothing breaks the news like the news in itself. Do you agree with me? Stay with me. Let me share with you some of the viewpoints that you find interesting along the lines. Now, speaking from the Senate itself, part of the viewpoints that wonders about why should presiding officers of the National Assembly be selected by the executives, and if there are gaps to wonder about if there's a thing to really query in light of that. Here's one of those viewpoints that disagrees completely about that. Take a listen.
We must do justice. What we are seeing today is new. There was no time in these 24 years of democracy where a political party, with the impunity of PDP in the previous days, there was no time they wrote a zoning and tied a name and sent it to the parliament. This is the first time we see this. We need to come and challenge it. If we follow it now, it means we are inconsistent of what we are doing before. We are with Asiwaju when we fight Obasanjo. We are with Asiwaju when we fight Jonathan. We formed APC. What is the difference between what APC is doing now and what PDP? The impunity, I can say it is impunity plus. Therefore, it's not all about Barrow. It is not about individual. It is about who? It is about Nigeria and the constitution of Nigeria and our coexistence. When we spent 12 years fighting PDP. Most of those who are in APC now are opposing us. To the extent they are inviting police to tear gas us and to beat us. But because we believe that we are doing it for the good of our people, we continue doing it. Now they are enjoying it. Had it knew, kept quiet. What will happen? Now, I am not against Barrow. I am not against anybody. And I am not saying anybody is not qualified. What I am saying is the process. The National Assembly is part of our blood. We can die because of the National Assembly because it's the only symbol of the unity of Nigeria. If for any reason there is problem in Nigeria, we don't know where we are heading to. See what is going on in Sudan. See, even their own neighbors, Southern Sudan, yesterday, over 2.5 people trooped to Sudan. Where are we heading to? We Nigerians. It is our own country. We can't allow the impunity to continue in democracy. We are Democrats. We are born to fight for the right of the people.
Okay, distinguished. Is this the position of the NNPP?
It is a position of pro-democracy, democratic people of our National Assembly. I am speaking on behalf of so many members. Watch the debate in Nigeria today. It shows you that it is neither NNPP, APC, it is across the board. Most of the people agree that Nigeria and National Assembly is a union. We must maintain its unity. My only worry, my heart is bleeding. Where are those people drag our Baba? Asiwaju, the one who fought for this democracy, to the extent he leaves this country for the fight of democracy to allow that thing to happen. Under his own watch. Baba, now, our younger generation, and of course, we, your children, we start witnessing the sign of inconsistency.
Is it truly the sign of inconsistency building up? Or are there issues that you just really want to get out of the way before you start your leadership? It looks like he has a head start, or should I say, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already starting to deal with the situation even before he had to do so. Maybe we've wondered why did he have to leave the country for the break? Well, I'm thinking this is the breaking point he was trying to push to the days ahead, and went on the break after the campaign. And now he has to deal with the Presidential Election Tribunal on one hand, and deal with the National Assembly members who are coming in the 10th Assembly to see where things would go. What a time. What a time. I'll be back to take your calls and messages after now. Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even this morning.
This is Nigeria Info.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Yes, welcome to the show. Sir?
Like the news.
True.
I love everything about you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. My name is Obedient Moses Wachuku.
Okay, welcome.
I want to, the last man that spoke, what everything he talks about is not true. They are not fighting for Nigerians' interest. They are fighting for their interest. And let me tell you, everything they have talked about the fight, Jonathan, the fight Obasanjo, is a nemesis that is pulling them up now. Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, it's nemesis. Because whatever goes around comes around. That is my take.
All right. Okay.
Let me tell you. Let me advise National Assembly workers. Those chairs in National Assembly, they should pin it down very, very well because there is going to be a serious fight in National Assembly in this state.
Okay.
Assembly.
I need to go on the break now, and then I'll be back to take more calls, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, stay with me right here on Nigeria Info. I really want to take your viewpoints in on this. I'll be back after now.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Nwachukwu. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 Connection established.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
0000. Okay, did you get that down? That's 080 959-74869. That's the second number. By the way, Fortune, I see your message. Fortune is saying, as I'm eating grass cutter soup, that I should not forget Ebola. I saw your message, Fortune. Fortune said that to me right now, not too long ago. It's 7:47. Send that in just to let me know about the dynamics of what I can eat and eat more than I know. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning. Hello, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, Femi D.
Good morning. How are you today?
Yeah, Femi D, this is Mr. Peter calling from Abuja.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Peter.
Yeah, Femi D, it has been very hilarious recently.
Really?
Having watched or listened to the issue that accumulating issue or arising issue as a result of the legislative battle for the presidency of the Senate and the speakership of the House of Assembly and other officers, I was laughing myself to stupor. You see, it is quite funny. At this age, I will listen to people who are talking about zoning this one to this place for the sake of carrying people along. And in the quest of doing that, I hear somebody trying to reduce a particular organization, I think NLC organization, the Ajay Rose contribution as a IPOB waiting position. I wonder, when then do we begin to reduce other people's position as Boko Haram position? Have we come to that? It is unfortunate that those who say they want to unify are the people who are tearing us apart. And it's quite unfortunate that the fourth rim of the estate who are enlightened to enlighten the people are now carrying such in a way that is quite disheartening. Because in a country like ours, we are running democracy. Democracy, they say, is government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But what we are hearing in the media is that democracy is for the few that were elected, for them and for those who elected them. For you to get any position, be it region or whatever, it will be. In short, everything now is that sense of school sense of a winner takes all is what we are pushing. We are not pushing for the good of the nation. Because if you would tell me that a particular group of people win election, and because they have win election, other people are not entitled to anything, whether rightly stated or wrongly, I wonder where we are going to. We, by ourselves, have decided to destroy our country. By our interest, will I call it primordial, or will I call it stereotypical? But the truth of the matter is that posterity is just before us. And it's unfortunate that we, the people, have decided to tread this path of absurdity.
Well, the people have not chosen to do anything. There's almost nothing the people can do at this stage. You can only clamor for what is right.
No.
Why do you say no?
When the media speak for the people, if the speaker speaks for the House of Reps, president speak for the executive, and the Senate president speak for the Senate, the media speak for the people and the nation as a whole. When these people decide to get it wrong, but when the media begin to tread that path and begin to answer your question, since you didn't vote, that's what we were told during Buhari. When you try to provide solution or to make constructive criticism, the question they will ask you: did you vote for him? Did this region vote for him? As if that APC is now a particular people, or PDP or Labour Party is a particular people's party.
Well, it's turning out they are building out their destiny in public eye. So I'm sure everybody can see where things will go. Let's leave it at that with you, okay? Thank you for your time. Good morning to you.
Hello, Mr. Femi. Good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. Welcome.
Yes, sometimes my name is Cosmas Eta, calling you from Banex at the moment.
All right, welcome, Cosmas.
I listen to you carefully, and I've come to really follow your idea that whether you really want to believe in what our politicians say, it is true that you don't have to follow them. You just have to keep watching until when the coast is clear. You not think of whether you're going to be a politician or not. Nigerian politicians, they really do not have ideologies that will help us really move forward. Sometimes I wonder why we even fought the colonial masters to leave. And then we said they were not leading us well, and we want to lead ourselves. Now we are leading ourselves, and we are segregating. Sometimes when election comes, why would somebody die during an election? Why would talks come out during an election? You claim to become a leader of a country. When you now bring all those machineries around and you become a leader tomorrow, who are you going to lead? Is it the same people that you kill, or the same people that you brought talk to disturb an election? Really, when I hear all this Biafra, I hear all politicians do use all those terminologies to show, it pains me when I hear things like that.
Okay.
We are not going well. We are not leading ourselves well.
All right.
Let us lead the country so that we can move forward.
Thank you, dear friend. Good to hear from you today, okay? Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dr. Femi Diamele, Paul from Lokogoma.
Welcome, Mr. Paul.
Thank you. Femi D is highly disappointing concerning the activities of our legislative arm. And then you will discover that it's all about racketeering. If you know what is happening in Transcorp, Femi D, go to Transcorp and see what is happening live.
Can I pretend I don't know so that you can say your gist?
My brother, all of them, they have given them the best treat. All the senators are in Transcorp right now. Go there.
I know they have. Hold on, Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, there's an event due for today actually as well. Apart from the fact that they're there, there's an event due for today as well. That they're supposed to have.
It's over a week.
I know. I'm talking about just today. There's an event for today, but it's also, Mr. Paul.
The people that are scrambling for leadership of the Senate, they have count all the senators there. They have switch, whether you sleep there or not.
I'm not saying I'm not saying what you're saying is a lie, but I'm just saying I just don't want to join you to affirm. I'm not saying it's a lie. Yes.
The money is exchanging is in dollars. No, it's not naira, my brother.
I am aware.
Naira, it's in dollars.
I am aware.
And it's millions. So there's something wrong. So it's the highest bidder. It's the highest bidder that will come out. So imagine how the person will be able to recover his resources. So it's strictly business. It's strictly business. It's not about national interest. Is it how we continue to behave? Where are we going? We don't know that we have a country. We don't know that we are representing a race. You see how we make progress in life? Come on. What is wrong? If you
All
have to
right.
be here,
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Both the Senate and the House of Reps. See
Thank-
how they are scrambling.
Thank you, Mr. Paul. Grateful to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Hello, Femi. My name is Obedient Moses Machku. I did not complete my statement before the break.
Oh, okay. Yes, I remember that. Thanks for calling back.
Yeah. Now, my final take is that I advise those working in the National Assembly, the engineers over there, please, they should save their mic, their seat, and every other thing so that government will not start spending money for new ones. Because I can see a heavy fight entering the National Assembly. They will be throwing on stones, Pakistan will be there, Akada will be. What I'm seeing now, there will be a heavy blow, heavy fight in the ground. And they should search all the senators before entering that place. Because some of them will come with dagger.
No, I don't think it can be that bad. I don't think it can be that bad. I don't think so.
No, what I'm trying to say is that I'm advising the workers of National Assembly to be very, very vigilant.
To be vigilant. All right.
This state assembly.
All right. Interesting perspective. But I've always wondered, has there been disciplinary action? And this is me asking, just broadly asking, disciplinary action for senators who choose to fight each other, physically fight each other. I know it takes place in African countries. It takes place in some European countries as well. There are ways in which punishments are meted out in some European countries for such. But for the Nigerian one, I do not know. When somebody carries somebody's agbada and turn it all over his face and fist up and throw the fist at the likes of that and insult female senators, for example, and say, go to your husband. You have no respect for your husband. I just wonder, are there penalties for this? Because it would be nice not to see any of such fights take place anytime soon. Okay, well, still reaching out via the phone lines. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Femi D, Dr. Femi D.
Good to connect with you. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, the man with the white man voice.
Ah, okay.
The man that sounds like a very fat and big man.
So, are you saying there's no chance I can be fat? I don't like this hate speech.
You don't need it. You don't need it, Femi D. You look good the way you are.
Thank you, sir.
You look good.
Thank you, sir.
It was nice. It was nice to see you at Swap's wedding. It was so good to interface with you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Femi D, my name is Usang for God.
Oh, okay, good.
And yes, a caller just made a statement now, and you say it can't be that, but I think the statement is valid somehow, Femi D. You know, we have this National Assembly. This 10 National Assembly is a unique one. Before now, you usually have a particular party dominating to a large extent. But in this case right now, the ruling party are not necessarily going to be the majority, because a combination of all other minority parties will almost be the same number and size with the ruling party.
In the Senate, I think it's 59 to 50, right?
You can imagine that.
Yeah,
you can imagine that. So you just need only one person from the ruling party to just play one dirty politics, and then you see that the minority will have their way. And so
9 people.
there is need for there will be need for caution, because it's going to be very, very how do I put it now? It's going to be somehow. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to have our senators who go in there properly screened and searched. You know, in the previous time we have had where the maze was actually hijacked. We have had it say in the National Assembly, of course, Femi D, where chairs were used, instruments were used. So it would be a good idea to ensure that every senator that goes there in sound mind and is not in any way equipped to cause violence. Let's pray that we get the best. Thank you, Femi D.
All right, we'll get the best from what we have chosen, I presume so. Thank you for your time as well. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dr. Femi D.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Yes.
My name is Ado Miller from Buhari.
Okay.
For the first time.
Oh, good to have you on. Welcome to the family.
Thank you, sir. I want to say God bless Mr. Paul. he said it all, Dr. Femi. I don't see the reason why we should be defending or fighting each other on top this Nigerian politician. Like, sincerely, is a matter of highest builder. And they are going there. I don't say all, but I can say up to 90% of them are going there for their own personal interest. Matter of the Muslim, Christian, Northerner, Southerner, Easterner, whatever you call it. They are just using it to cajole with the follower, or those their followers, because I'm not their followers. That's the reality. You understand? So, instead of us fighting each other because of this, we're going there for their own personal interest. Just for example, for this just concluded presidential election, we are talking about Muslim. Are you telling me immigrants are Muslim by name or by virtue of it?
No, sorry, I didn't get that. I didn't get what you said towards the end of that.
The capacity, what they have to offer as a person, not from where they came from or which religion they practice or whatever. They support said it all. I 100% agree with support.
All right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for your time as well. Interesting time we find ourselves. Okay, good morning to you.
Hello.
Yes. Yes, good morning.
Yes, I remember my humble self again, Abubakar Ali Tinubu picking calling from PW Kuvwa. I recall some few hours ago when I make the similar comment this legislature just make, you call it anti-party. So now, would you call the same legislator what he has said anti-party? We are talking about reality.
I said you were practicing.
To the mistakes.
I said you were practicing anti-party. I didn't say they were doing anti-party. That you were.
Which one, the anti-party? They tell you something. It's 2015. This was the similar mistake my party made. Charaki and Dogara now took over the mantle of the House and the Senate, and we see what happened between the National Assembly and the presidency. We are trying to avoid that situation. How can you microzone a Senate, Deputy Senate President and Speaker to Northwest, and even tie them to a name like that legislature said? How can you microzone Senate President to South and tie a name to it? That is not even called selection. That is imposition. It is called imposition, and imposition have no place in our democracy. Imposition have no place in our constitution. Imposition have no place in this country. I know the legislatures are agitated just like several millions of other APC supporters, die-hard supporters like us are, and they will do the needful when the time comes. Which can't be this? After we don't suffer, all the banter we receive, in fact, it go to the end. Mr. Femi, tell me to my eye that mature and not mature, I should go and do DNA, just in the name of politics. These are some of the things we received, we at the grassroots, but they are there trying to turn us into laughingstock. It's not going to work. I believe those legislators will go in there and make us proud as they have always done.
All right, thank you for your time. Let me read us. Well, I'm sorry. Let me tell you what's making me laugh. It's not even the points he's making. I'm sure he has his own point. It's just to hear him agitated. The way he's agitated is what's making me laugh, because he's a jolly good fella. So just listening to him agitated is a little bit, it's not upset, it's just very, I'm concerned, but the only part of me that is concerned about it is the fact that it makes me laugh to hear him, not his points. I have no issues with your points, okay? It's just you. It's just the way you're going about it. Sonu, sorry. Okay. Hello, FMD. This is Bela Sianovic from Maitama. It's a democracy. A mere demonstration of grace? That's the question he's asking. According yesterday on That Facts, and I brought it to the front burner, the dichotomy of loyalty. Party loyalty is stronger than national loyalty because the former creates this kind of situation we're experiencing, while the latter will give a sense of national unity. Thanks for your message. Here's another one. Good morning, Femi. Please, I had an advert yesterday after 3 p.m. program with respect to study and work abroad, which a brief will be handled somewhere in Asokoro. Interested people are expected to come with some document. Please, I want to know the venue in Asokoro, time and contact. I will have to check that one for you. I don't have those details here and now, okay? Idoko from Cuba says, as far as I'm concerned, the word rubber stamp exists only in the camp of the opposition, that in the hands of the opposition. That the Constitution talked about separation of power doesn't necessarily mean the president, as the head of the executive, should not be in constant disagreement with the National Assembly. The both must work in understanding so long as it is for national growth and development. Idoko from Cuba had a rating in. Virtue from Aso Drive also did share his viewpoint. He said, our problem knowing a president is the one to choose the Senate president as Speaker of the House. This is an aberration and a violation of the principle of independence of the other arms of government. What makes democracy different from other systems of government is the independence of each arm of government. This independence helps each other to checkmate and tame the excesses of others for smooth running of governance. But when all arms are in the unity and are romancing themselves, they're giving room for anarchy, arbitrariness, and impunity to reign supreme. We unanimously agreed and condemned the outgoing leadership of both the Senate and House of Representatives because they were rubber stamp of the incumbent president. If so, why are we directly and indirectly encouraging President-elect to tell us who should be the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House, respectively? If this is allowed, are we not again giving room for another rubber stamp leaders of the National Assembly? That's the question Virtue from Aso Drive ends with. Jay Temple from Emirates Stadium says, Madrid all the way, you're on your own. I do not know you. Pius writes, and he says, good day, sir. Please educate me. What good idea will this 72 bring to the table in this present day Nigeria? Those names should be thrown. You know the rest of it when I do that. Femi D, Manchester City will win semi-final second leg next week. Yes. It seems UEFA referees are favoring Real Madrid before Cavalier and Rudiger should have gotten yellow cards yesterday on their foul on Gundogan and Grealish, respectively. Caller agent of Femi D. Thanks, my brother. Okay. In response to the question, please, young people, did President Buhari invest in you? Asked by someone, this is my response. Absolutely no. Rather, it destabilized our academics by not being sensitive enough to end ASU strike early and said he wasn't aware. He didn't build and repair our 40 refineries so we could be massively employed as he promised. Although his nose and security is up to its peak, risking the lives of many Nigerian youths. It's so bad that we are at risk even in the hands of the security agents, as is the case of NASS protests, where youths were you wrote the word massacred and then cancelled it off in Lekki Toll Gate. Good morning, FMD. Prosper from NAQ Apo. Good job, you write. Thanks for your viewpoint on this as well. Okay, good morning, FMD. Some people are saying we shouldn't complain if the tribunal results do not favor us. Rejoice at Adelike's win. We are rejoicing because that was the right thing. And if they do the same for the presidential, Nigeria will rejoice. Nancy did write a viewpoint in on that as well. I've got to go. Thank you so much for being part of Morning Crossfire this very morning. I'm so grateful for all you do, your time, your contribution, and your consistent listening in. And a special thanks to all those who listen to all we are saying, and debate is right there in their car. I know there are people who debate in their car. I know there are people who debate the newspaper stands. I know there are people who debate in the office. And yes, a big thanks as well to those who have stayed in their car to this end, to listen to the show to the end. You already know at your various locations, but you chose to sit and finish the show right from your car. Big thanks to you. And for those wives who are tolerating their husbands and husbands tolerating their wives, listening to politics in the morning, Eshikpupo, good morning to you. I'm Femi D. Amale. Enjoy your day.
Nothing breaks the news like the news. Trust me, I can prove it. I do it every morning on Morning Crossfire from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Nigeria Info 95.1, and I'm Femi D. Amede. Join the biggest conversation around the national politics every day in a way that is trustworthy, full of passion, and yes, covers the biggest politics and the stories that matter to you. See, you have all the reasons to find out what's going on in Nigeria and be engaged differently. Let's talk. That's the way to go, even though